Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be watching a video called Top 10 Most Dramatic Formula One Moments Ever. So I'm guessing it's going to be like a compilation between like dramatic moments in the sport, and I'm thinking there's going to be like a lot of car crashes, but also because I'm trying to think of like what's dramatic like in the sport. So maybe also like last minute like wins when you have like someone dominating the whole race and you think, oh, that guy's gonna win, and then all of a sudden like someone comes in and sweeps in at the last minute and then that guy wins. That's quite a dramatic. And also maybe fights. Like I don't know how common it is in Formula One for people and for drivers to fight each other, because I know that obviously it's very like it's not sportsmanship like, but I know that it happens. Like there's some sports where like I don't know, the players just once in a while they like throw some punches. So I don't know if that's a thing in Formula One, because I don't know how much they interact with each other like before the race and after the race. But maybe there may be some fights, because that's quite dramatic, right? But I don't know. So come join me and comment, like, subscribe, and start. Okay, the tires, the wheels, no more.
Welcome to Watch Mojo.
Okay.
And today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 most dramatic F1 moments ever.
I think Hamilton was far enough up the inside to have earned the right to some space.
For this list, we're looking at the celebrated motorsport's most hair-raising crashes, epic last lap efforts, and heated rivalries from the mid-20th
Okay, so that's what I was thinking of.
2021 season. Which of these history-making clashes and controversies would you rank number one? What's an F1 moment you'll never forget? Let us know in the comments below. Number 10. The closest
the
F1
70s.
finish. Formula One viewers today are spoiled with advanced technology that intricately tracks and records timing down to 10,000ths of a second.
Yeah, it's all
Yet
automatic.
the final lap of the 1971 Italian Grand Prix, when timing could only be calculated down to 2 decimal places, boasts the closest F1
Was it like some guy
with
just
the
put a-
top
put a
5
clock?
finishers separated by just over half a second.
Well, but half a second, I think that's plenty in a race like this. Maybe to the naked eye, I think it looks the same, but
was the fastest
it's a
track
lot.
on the 1971 schedule, and the record-breaking speeds meant the grueling race was plagued with engine-related retirements.
oh. I could clearly see it was
when
mostly on the left. That's the
unexpected
one who
leaders
won.
found themselves out front with less than 10 laps remaining. Peter Gethin gave it his all, racing out of the final corner to edge out the win by just 1/100th of a second.
100 of a second. Oh, they didn't have champagne. The champagne is
Number
new.
9,
I thought it was
a
always champagne.
championship hunt in the wet. Formula One's Japanese debut is remembered for heavy race day rains, and
my
the
God, it's
controversial
so
decision
much
to
water.
proceed with the race was met with
How are you
severe
driving like
protests from
this?
teams and drivers.
I agree. How are you going to drive in those conditions? It's so much water. You're drowning.
Niki Lauda, who was set to complete his miraculous return from a near-fatal accident just 6 races earlier.
Yeah, wasn't he the guy that had like
after
pretty
only 5
bad
laps in the treacherous
accident
conditions, meaning James
like, in a
Hunt
race?
only had to finish 4th to win the title.
Lauda found the treacherous conditions too much and retired.
Oh my God,
The
yeah, because he
hero
was
understandably
traumatized.
reluctant to take
Obviously.
risks so soon after the horror of the Nordschleife.
Hunt pushed his tires to the limit and charged to the lead, but was forced to pit when the track began to dry. Working
Of course
from
you have to
fifth,
change the tires.
Hunt passed 2 cars in the last 3 laps to win the championship title by just
He's just like a
1
guy
point,
with a flag.
something he didn't realize until he stepped out of his car.
Oh, he didn't know. Give me a drink. He's just like, give me a drink, give me a
Number 8,
drink.
Hamilton's final lap tire failure. It's a familiar sight to see Lewis Hamilton rounding the final corner of his home race in first place, but at the 2020 British Grand Prix, visions of fireworks and popping champagne turned to clouds of sparks and popping Pirellis.
As once again we see wheels coming loose once again. We see the safety car.
Yeah, rear tyre puncture.
With just a few
my
laps
God,
to
that
go,
looks
the
horrific.
Mercedes garage held their breath when Valtteri Bottas dropped off the pace with a puncture, and all eyes were on race leader Hamilton. Just when it seemed that Max Verstappen, who had stopped for a fresh set of tires, would settle for second place, Hamilton's tire blew out on the final lap.
But look at the state of that Mercedes car. He's going through maggots and Beckett's at the moment.
Yeah, the car is just like...
Verstappen was rapidly gaining on the limping leader, but Hamilton managed to wrestle his
Yeah, the
Mercedes
wheel-
across the line
there's no
with just
tire.
3 good tires to claim the victory.
But for Lewis
That's
Hamilton, the
insane.
checker flag will come in the nick of time for a 7th
These are
British
just
Grand
like the
Prix
thing,
victory
like it's
and
not
a
like the
record.
tire, the rubber's gone. No more
Brabham's
rubber.
push to the finish line. Entering the final race
Oh
of
my
the
God, the
season, Jack
1950s.
Brabham, Sterling
Look at
Moss,
those
and Tony
cars.
Brooks were all in contention for the championship title.
By December, Jack Brabham is the leader in the World Drivers'
Oh, and the little
Championship.
helmets.
And the
It's so
United States
funny.
Grand Prix at Sebring is the final race of the series.
However, when Moss retired early with a gearbox issue and Brooks dropped down the order after a teammate collision,
God, the cars
Brabham
were
just
so
had to finish
beautiful,
the
but
race.
so funny
With the
looking.
title in his sights, Brabham's car ran out of fuel on the final straight.
In the
Running
first
out of
lap, less than
fuel,
half a mile
no.
to go, Brabham runs out of petrol.
Drivers blew by to take the podium position.
I can't believe there was an actual guy with a flag.
Were still laps down. Brabham buckled down, knowing he just had to take the checkered flag without any help, and pushed his car across the line to finish 4th and win the title.
In an atmosphere
Okay,
of
even
great
if it
excitement,
finished fourth,
Jack
but he
Brabham
still
pushes
won.
his car across the line in 4th place to become the first Australian ever to win the World
Oh, it's the
Championship.
first Australian.
Number 6.
That's nice.
Schumacher versus Hill. Damon Hill entered the final race of the season just 1 point behind rival Michael Schumacher.
That's
Going
close.
into the last race with 1 point deficit to Michael is always going to be, unfortunately, putting you in the position where you've got everything
yeah.
to lose.
So close,
Schumacher
yeah.
took an early lead while Hill, running in second, fell back. That is,
Oh.
until Schumacher brushed the wall and Hill took his chance, driving down the inside. Schumacher turned
Okay,
in
the-
on his rival and
the
was
car-
knocked out of the
just
race
like
on
this?
2 wheels. But Hill's
On
damaged
2 wheels,
suspension
exactly.
ruined his chance of winning the title.
Obviously, like, I don't think your car just stands a chance. Like, look how it falls. Like, no.
Many
He
claim
was on 2
Schumacher
wheels.
hit Hill on purpose, a sentiment
Oh,
that
it was
would
on
be
purpose.
reinforced. Number 5, Collins hands over his car. Nicknamed El
Another from the
Maestro, or the
1950s.
Master, Juan Manuel Fangio was well on his way to his 4th series title heading into the final race of the 1956 season.
It looks like they're going so slow. I don't know if it's cameras or the cars
teammate
back in the
Peter
day.
Collins and rival Jean Bérac could claim the title if they won, and Fangio finished with no points. However,
Oh, no
when Bérac
points.
retired and Fangio's car suffered a broken steering arm, Collins was primed to
Okay,
take
your
it
car's
all.
falling apart.
Ferrari ordered Luigi Musso to give his car to his championship-leading teammate, but Musso ignored the call.
During a short rain shower,
He was like, no
Musso
way.
pitted his Ferrari, but refused to hand it over to Fangio.
In a shocking act of sportsmanship, Collins forfeited his chance at the title when he came into the pits, saw his teammates sitting out, and offered Fangio his own car for the final title-winning 15 laps.
That's
Then that
insane.
Collins made his very sporting gesture
Yeah, like,
and sent
just grab the
Fangio
car.
away in his car, which was okay, while Fangio's had steering trouble.
That's
Number 4,
crazy. Just keep
Arnoux
getting,
versus
like,
Villeneuve.
here's a car.
Considered by many to be the greatest battle in Formula One history, it's
Oh,
hard
the
to believe
greatest battle.
René Arnoux and Gilles Villeneuve's famous Dijon fight was actually for second place.
René Arnoux
They were
is
fighting for
challenging
second. It's about pride,
Come up to
probably.
Villeroy, but Villeneuve will not give way.
The drivers swapped positions back and forth over the final few laps in a stunning display of pure nerve and determination, coupled
They're
with
going-
perfectly
they're very
precise
close.
racing skill. Arnoux entered the last lap in front as the French crowd roared, but Villeneuve passed Arnoux into the first turn.
Villeneuve stood on everything, locked up his tyres.
He's
got the
passing him,
line,
yeah,
and he's
he
back
passed
into
him.
second position on the last lap but one, and the French crowd aren't very happy about that, and who can blame them?
When
People
Arnoux
were not
attempted
happy.
to fight back, the two touched wheels, sending
And did he
Villeneuve
made it?
off the racing line, making contact 3 times. They headed into the final corner of the track 2 abreast, until Villeneuve pulled ahead to win the position by just 0.24 seconds.
And Villeneuve is
No
second.
chance for the other guy.
Number
He
3,
ended up
Senna
third.
versus Prost. Suzuka, 1989. The boiling point in Ayrton Senna and Alain Prost's legendary rivalry remains a controversial
another
debate
rivalry.
to this day. Prost led the championship and the race, but 6 laps from the finish, Senna fought to pull alongside his rival. Neither driver would heed the position. Prost closed the door, and the teammates collided.
This is the opportunity.
And they were teammates.
And he's going through. Out! Oh my goodness!
Now
this
they're
is
both...
fantastic.
Okay, great. Now none of them
Won
have
the
a chance.
championship. And even though Senna restarted his car and finished
Oh,
the race,
he was able to
the Brazilian
restart.
was later disqualified for improperly rejoining the track.
Senna's got going again. He's back on.
Because he couldn't join, or because he did it like
He will
improperly?
sure be disqualified for receiving a push
The
stop.
car's falling
The
apart.
controversy nearly caused Senna to quit the sport. And
Oh
the
my God,
rage
he almost
would build
quit.
to Suzuka the following season when Senna refused to yield into the opening corner and crashed into Prost with vicious intent, motivated
Okay, so
by
he
the
was like-
previous year.
Yeah, it was a grudge. Like, I'm holding a grudge.
Senna is trying to go through on the inside, and it's happened
Oh my
immediately.
God,
This is amazing. Senna goes off at the first corner. And what has happened to Prost? He has gone off too.
Exactly. I think you would think
Here are
he's
some
speechless.
honorable mentions. Grosjean's fiery crash. The Frenchman's 28-second escape from death.
28th? Has he been in 28
Through the barrier,
crashes?
you see, the car's gone through the
The car's
barrier.
blowing
Surtees
up.
wins
Like,
the title.
what?
A British trio's last lap showdown.
The thrilling finish meant John Surtees had won the title by a single point from Hill, the first and only time a motorcycle world champion also won the Formula One title.
Niki Lauda's
was he
comeback.
crying?
Lauda's ghostly but
Was it
unbelievable act
ghostly?
of bravery.
He made a startling comeback at the Italian Grand Prix, finishing fourth.
Yeah, that's the
Somehow
guy with the
keeping his
accident,
world
right?
championship hopes alive.
Mansell's tire blowout. A near champion's title hopes dashed in an instant.
May have been prepared to move
Why in an
And
instant?
look at
Oh.
that. How that
That's what they meant with like the tire blows out.
El
That's
Maestro's
insane.
famous drive to victory.
And Fangio takes the checkered flag to win the German Grand Prix.
Before
Looks
we
like the start
continue,
of
be
a
sure to
film.
subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. The
Okay, what's number
2021
one?
Championship Decider. While
Okay,
the
senor.
aftermath of the 2021 season has seen controversial speculations fly about the finale feeling a little too similar to a Hollywood script, the
Well, but
rivalry
it's real
between
life.
seven-time world champion Lewis Hamilton and young up-and-comer Max Verstappen was action-packed up until the very last lap.
Will there be any more racing laps? If there are,
Oh, no.
then Verstappen has got the tyres to really...
Check out this other recent clip from Watch.
Okay, yeah, it was kind of what I was expecting with the whole like some crashes, less crashes than I thought. It was more about like rivalry, which I think it's funny because I was expecting more like people punching each other or like drivers like getting out of the car like super angrily and being all like and he was like, no, it's funny that the rivalries are like on the track. They're not like, they don't seem to be like outside of it. So it's funny that all of it, it's like it's inside. So they all like take it out when they're racing and when they're driving, which is incredibly funny. But obviously, like I think that's probably like what the sport's about. I'm loving the fact that there's like so many rivalries. It's like very dramatic, like the title mentions. It's like very dramatic. But I love the fact that they do hold grudges, but the grudges are like for like it's like last year like you hit me and then I'm gonna get you back. Like it's not gonna be in this season because maybe like I don't have a chance. But like next year, like I'll see you. And we saw like in a couple of drivers that were like, no, yeah, it was revenge for what you did to me last year. So I'm just like, I'm gonna crash your car. So it's so funny that they just like they don't care. Like I don't really care if I lose this race, if I'm disqualified or if my car like it's toast. I'm gonna make sure you don't win either. So it's really funny. I love it. It's like it's so petty. It's I can't help it. Like it's kind of funny. I love the fact that it actually looks like it's a movie, but it's like it's real life. So it's like you can't really make up those kind of things because like it happens. So I think my favorite was the one with when you could clearly, there were several of them, but there was one you could clearly see. I think it was Schumacher, when you could clearly see that he just like, I'm gonna crash into you. It wasn't like by accident. I don't know if they actually like do they like disqualify you if they see you like intentionally crashing into someone, or is it like whatever, they just give you a pass? Do they disqualify you? Do you have to pay a fine? I don't know what the rules are, but it's funny that it happens like quite a bit, I have to say. It's also like I love the fact that before, like in the earlier, like in the 1950s and 70s, they had like, especially like in the 50s, they had like the cars were so funny. It's completely different from what we have these days. Beautiful cars, like they look lovely, but they are so dissimilar to the cars these days. So it's funny to see them like that, and it's funny to see like how they've changed, because I don't think they have like barriers. They didn't have anything, and the fact that they were at that, like the finish line was just like a guy like waving a flag. It's like, what? It's insane to me how they had a person just like flying with the flag, they're going like very incredibly fast, and then like you're just gonna crash into the guy that has like the finish line flag. But I'm glad that we don't have that, those things, you know. These days everything is like with obviously a lot of technology. But I'm wondering because I think they only mentioned once that it happened, that it was like, oh, you know, you missed for like half a second. But before like they have like professional and technology like appeared, it was all probably human error. So I'm wondering how many times did someone actually like was declared the winner, but in reality like they wasn't, because it was like, no, I think I miscalculated. Probably I saw, like from my perspective, I saw that guy went first, and then, you know, if we went back and we would look at this at those like at the speeds back in the day, and if you went back and actually use like an actual timer, like a technology like piece or something, you would see that, oh no, like the other guy won, sorry. But obviously it was like over 50 years ago, so there's nothing like we can do. But I'm wondering how many times it happened that someone made mistakes, because, you know, humans make mistakes. But yeah, I probably, again, my favorite was the one with the grudges. Love the grudges, it's so funny. And also always like the dramatic ones of like, hey, you're gonna win, and then the other one, they were like celebrating, and then someone has to tell them like, no, do not celebrate, do not pop the champagne, we didn't win. It's like, oh my god, it's so sad. And also the ones with they were fighting for second place. It's funny because, again, and I think probably a lot of the sport, it's not just about winning. Obviously you want to win, you want to get into first place, but I think that really does show that it's about pride. It's personal, it's about pride. It's not about winning, because I know that I'm not gonna get a pole position, but I still have a chance. It's personal. Like, I don't want you to win, I don't want you to get in second place, I don't want you to get over me. I want to be better than you. So I love the fact that they were like fighting for second place. It's like, it shows you that it's not really about like getting into like first position. It's very personal. I think that's what I'm getting. It's like, this sport is very personal. So I love it. I love that fact, and I love how dramatic it is. But that was it for today, and I'll see you next time. Bye.